Hey, thanks so much for joining us here on 90s Plus on this Tuesday, October the 17th. I'm 90s meteorologist Chris Bianchi. It feels more like August the 17th out there. The temperature today that's already getting close to 80 degrees will be in the low 80s for this afternoon, and we could be talking about, if we overperform those temperatures by a couple degrees, we'll be right around a record for today. It is also going to turn a little bit blustery this afternoon, and we're seeing some of those winds right now, but those winds will only increase as we head through the day, and it looks like we'll be talking about those temperatures being the main story. It does cool down for tomorrow with a cold front. Now, as we look at Denver, this is what it looked like here with some of that snow into the high country, and still seeing some of that snow in a few spots. Now, in the high country, I should say. Near record heat for today. Again, record high for today is 86. That was set back in 1926. Cooler for tomorrow with some fire danger around for both today and tomorrow with some of those gusty winds, a dry air mass, and those mild temperatures. Those three kind of factors that we look for in terms of that elevated fire concern. HC Doppler radar is quiet, but you look off to the north, and there's that next cold front moving its way through Wyoming. You see that little strip of clouds. That is what's going to eventually bring us some of our cooler weather for tomorrow. But in the meantime, what's happening ahead of that front is we're getting something called compressional warming. I know that sounds like a big term, but basically what's happening is you're getting that warm air squeezed together. That means that warm air is accelerating, and what you're feeling is that warm air from that air being kind of compressed, and the result, really warm temperatures for us. But that front moves through tonight. You'll notice some of those winds. You may see a little rush of wind around 5, 6, 7 o'clock or so this evening as the front moves its way on through. The front will move through from northwest to southeast. For today, temperatures in the low to mid 80s. Record of 86 for today will be, it's a little bit in jeopardy. I just wouldn't be too surprised we end up getting to 86. Probably seems a bit high. Obviously, our forecast is 83, so I don't think we're going to end up getting there, but wouldn't be too surprising if we did. Sometimes on these days, even though the computer models are telling us 83, maybe 84, we can often sometimes get an extra degree or two above what those models show us. But in the meantime, again, low to mid 80s for us here on the Eastern Plains, 50s, 60s for those high temperatures in the high country. Our average high for today is 65. So we're talking about a high of 83. That is cooking for this time of year. That is close to 20 degrees above the average. For tonight, not quite as cooking. It's going to be down to 43 degrees. Breezy at times for us. And we're going to also notice cooler temperatures tonight compared to last night. And that is thanks to that front that will swing its way out through us tomorrow morning. Probably a bit more of a little bit of an added chill to the air mass compared to today. Again, that is thanks to that front that swings its way on through. Lows tonight, 30s, 40s in the high country, 40s and 50s on the Eastern Plains. For tomorrow, highs in the low 70s for us, mostly sunny skies. And it's going to be a very nice day overall out here for tomorrow. 60s and 70s for those high temperatures for tomorrow. And again, our average high for this time of year, in fact, our average high for tomorrow moves down to 64. So we cool down to 71 in Denver. That's still close to 10 degrees above average, 7 degrees above the norm, 50, 60s into the high country. So again, we continue with this very warm pattern thanks to big ridge of high pressure it builds on in. Now, one thing I haven't talked about yet, the winds. This will be a factor, something we have to closely watch for because we don't have a red flag warning. We don't have any fire weather alerts on the Eastern Plains, but on days like this, again, anything that sparks outdoors will have the potential to spread fairly quickly just because of those gusty winds and a dry air mass. Those winds will be strongest as you head east and also into the foothills. So the high country, you'll notice those extra winds for today and tomorrow, and then by Thursday, those winds should calm down considerably. But for today, again, the foothills, you'll notice those winds. And watch here as we get into tonight. Those winds, it looks like they pick up a little bit along and behind the front. And in Denver, we're probably going to be mostly just talking about a light breeze, but in the foothills, it will be windy at times. And then tomorrow, it'll also be breezy at times for us, particularly into the foothills. 7-day forecast. It's warm, it's sunny. It's not until next week that we get our next chance for any sort of rain or snow. So you got to wait until probably next Monday, Tuesday for any sort of rain chances and much cooler temperatures. But again, our average high for tomorrow is 64. By early next week, I believe our average high drops down to about 60. So when we're talking about these highs in the mid 60s, that's still above average, even with the cool down. So it is a very warm stretch, and that continues over the next few days, and really the foreseeable future. Next week, though, overall, just looking at computer models, it is trending cooler and perhaps a bit wetter for next week. So if you're looking for some more actual fall-like weather, you'll get it next week. But one thing we probably won't have, snow anytime soon. Our average first measurable snowfall date is tomorrow, And for us here in Denver, as I mentioned, we have this much of a chance of getting measurable snow for today or tomorrow. That would be a big fat goose egg. In fact, we probably don't drop down below 40, so it's very hard to get snow when it doesn't drop below 40, even with our overnight lows. So obviously no snow chances really anytime soon. Nothing on the horizon, but we will take a closer look in at that snow and some of those forecasts about that coming up here on 90s Plus later on this week. But in the meantime, again, top line takeaways. Elevated fire danger for today. It is warm and it's also very dry out there. So just careful with anything that spark outdoors. It will be blustery at times in the foothills and the high country for today. Denver, you probably won't notice the wind as much along and east of I-25. Near record heat for today. Cooler for tomorrow, but then we warm right back up again. Next week, trending a bit cooler and wetter, but still some kind of kinks to work out with the forecast for next week. I'll have another update for you coming up at 9 news and at noon, and also at 4 and 5 p.m. we'll have Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin in, and also Meteorologist Danielle Grant in at 6, 9, 10 tonight on the 9 News Family Networks. Once again, I'm 9 News Meteorologist Chris Bianc here on this Tuesday, October the 17th. Enjoy the nice and balmy weather while we've got it. We're only, 2 months away from kind of middle of winter and the winter solstice. So again, get the warm, get that warm weather activity in while you got it. You certainly got it for your day today. Thanks again for joining us here on 90s Plus. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.